Kyle.
Okay. This is a remote participation meeting pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GL 30A 18, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing a limitation on the number of people that may gather in one location. This meeting will be conducted via remote participation. Specific information such as instructions and guidelines for remote by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town website at www.yarmouth.ma.us. For the public portion of this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch or listen and participate in the meeting may do so in the following manner. Watch a live stream on Yarmouth's YouTube channel located at the following link. Are we on the YouTube for this?
We probably aren't on the YouTube.
I mean, we can if you really want to, but typically we don't live stream meetings that aren't live streamed under normal circumstances.
Right, okay. Join the meeting hosted in Zoom by using the following link. https://us02webzoom.us.j8134691720. You may also listen to the meeting by calling in on a phone to 1-312-626-6799 and enter the meeting ID 813-4691-7200. Audio.
Okay, I'll hang up.
You're here already. You're in. No, yeah.
So is there something else I'm
There
to
you
hit?
are. You're right there. Just.
But I have a page
Can
on.
you see everybody?
No.
You're supposed to have the page.
Hit what?
You're supposed to.
Do I
Just
hit
hit-
what?
See the agenda, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so right now we've got Sarah reading some important information that has to be read at the start of the meeting, so we'll let her continue and then we'll start the meeting.
Will the page go away?
Nope, not for now. We want to keep it up there so we can see our agenda.
Oh, that's why I send everybody an agenda. Okay.
Shall I continue?
Please, Sarah,
Yes,
yeah, thank you.
please.
Sorry.
That's okay. Audio, video, and screen sharing functions will be disabled during the public session. Request to participate by using the raise hand function. You may submit comments to the town using the following email, publiccomment@yarmouth.ma.us. This email will be monitored by a moderator who will alert the board chair of relevant comments. Meeting materials are attached to this agenda, available online at yarmouth.ma.us/agenda center, and will be displayed at the online meeting. It is recommended that phone participants access materials in advance of the meeting. Please know the following general instructions. Keep your phone muted at all times when not talking. Do not use speakerphone. Do not use Bluetooth devices. Mute background noise. Mute the live stream feed and use only the telephone audio. Please do not speak until the chair or the meeting moderator asks for public comments or questions. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted. The measures stated above follow the emergency order of the governor for remote participation. Meetings will be broadcast on Channel 18 as soon as possible after the close of the meeting. The other thing that I would comment on is at times when you normally would take a vote, a roll call vote is required, which because of it being a remote participation meeting. So I just wanted to point that out as well. I don't think it specifies that, just as a business point. And we can, whoever would like to call the meeting to order and continue, you're welcome to do so.
Okay, David, if you would like to call the meeting to order now off the roll call vote, just call everybody's name and they need to answer either yes or no that they're here.
Before I do that, just a point, Dan, I I am not the chair. I think we had
Okay.
appointed someone else to be the chair initially.
Yes.
Was that Ally, Evelyn? Is Ally our,
Well, we,
That was me, but I felt sort of coerced into it, and I am not comfortable chairing the group.
so then the co-chair was Gail, was that right?
That's me.
So
But
do you want to, Gail, do you want to lead us here? And we'll talk about roles here in a minute, but just to get us started.
Okay, we'd like to call this meeting to order. And the following people, let's see if they attended. Hold on one second, please. I wasn't. Dave Body
Present,
and Ally
Hello.
and Evelyn.
present,
And let's see what's George Warner,
Jody.
Jody, okay.
Yeah.
Jody's not present.
Well, he's trying to get on. I think
Okay,
he's
so we'll, okay. And we have, who's the other two people? I don't remember the woman's name, I'm sorry. Sharon and Drew. Yeah, okay. Drew and Sharon, I apologize. Okay.
And I'm Sarah O'Reilly, the Director of Human Resources for the town. I'm also present.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Sharon.
and
Hi
Dan's
there.
on the call as well.
Oh, good. So everyone's present except Jody so far.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
Right.
Should we continue then?
Yes. Okay. Now that we've got the roll call, we have an official meeting, I'll just kind of give you an overview of the role of the committee and then a little bit of how it interacts with the town. Kyle, I sent a little while ago the committee charge. There you go. So this committee is, for those that don't know me, I'm the town administrator, Dan Knappich. And this committee had been dormant with the town for a number of years. And we reactivated it, and the way you do that is with a authorized charge by the Board of Selectmen. And I want to say that we did that, I think, in 2018. We had to modernize the original charge so that it meets the new standards that the State Office of Disability had generated, because that website had been modernized and the interaction that communities have with the state has also been changed a little bit. So what you see in front of you, and we can send after the meeting a copy of this document to everybody so you can have it as part of your own official records for participation. And I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you for offering to participate as volunteers to the town. Many, as you know, activities that we do, most all of them are done under the power of volunteer labor. And they become more successful for the town when the volunteers participate. But in any event, normally in a community, the personnel director, and that would be in this case Sarah O'Reilly, and that's why I asked her to be on the call. They are the town or the community has to designate a disabilities coordinator, if you will, an official employee of the town to fulfill that role. And so certain issues of compliance related to the various statutes at the federal and state level are the role and responsibility of the coordinator is to ensure that to the extent possible, the town, when it's planning its projects and its daily activities, is compliant. And it's certainly a big job for sure. Additionally, with commissions and committees in the town, they normally would have a staff liaison assigned to them. And in our particular circumstance, that assignment at the time was not known. So if you can see on the charge, it says department or division assignment not applicable. That actually, we'll update that at a later date. And it was normally going to be the Director of Community Services, who now is out on medical leave, and that's Patricia Armstrong. So along that line, Diane Kane, I think, and I'd have to talk to Diane, is probably filling in to some degree with Pat. But Pat, I expect her to be back probably within about 4 to 6 weeks, and I'll bring her up to speed with that. Underneath the division or department assignment, you can see the membership setup. So it can have up to 7 members, but not more than 13. And the members get appointed by the board. So if you know of somebody that's interested in serving, then you would have them fill out a talent bank form. And my office can supply that. Pam Barnes in my office is the staff assignment that handles all the committee and commission documents, if you will, and gets them in position to be presented to the Board of Selectmen. Once we have one of these talent bank forms on an individual filled out, then you get interviewed by the appointments chair. I don't know who that will be. The Board of Selectmen will be reorganizing on Tuesday. Mark Forrest was the former. He'll be the chairman. He'll be the chairman of the new board when they sit on Tuesday night, so they'll have to appoint a new appointment chairperson. So that, I'll let you know who that is after next week.
And Dan Natrick is talking on our thing about disability. You on another line? You're not in the program?
I can't get into the program. It keeps bouncing around. I've signed up and it doesn't want to tell me how to do it.
You can call in to the call. That's also possible. There's a phone number to call. So if you wanted to just call by telephone, that's fine.
Why don't I give you a phone number and you can try it? You gotta.
Yeah, do that. Give me the phone number.
Kyle, can you put up the agenda? It should have the phone number on it.
2895.
840.
2895.
That's not a phone number. It's got too many
3858. No,
numbers.
this is the number you're gonna put in for the Zoom.
No, he's going to have to call from a phone. Yeah,
Evelyn?
Oh, wait a minute.
here's the number. I'll give the number. 312.
Hold, Dan's gonna give you my number.
Yep.
Okay.
312
Yeah,
626
yeah,
6799.
okay.
In the meeting, you're going to have to, it'll ask you to enter a meeting ID. The ID number is as follows. 813
Hold on. Okay. 813
4691
4691.
7200.
Okay, so if I call that number up top and then put in this number, I can join on the phone, right?
That's correct, and we'll recognize you. Yep.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so going back to the committee charge, Kyle, please. So the membership is outlined there, and the terms are staggered, and that's where we're at presently now. Is there should be like an additional amount of information on that? Yeah, coming down. So the next thing to pay attention to would be the frequency of meetings. So the commission has to keep track of its records, and typically the boards appoint their own recording secretary that keeps track of that. Minutes, I will go over to save time on this call. I'll give you like a guideline and a form to fill out, if you will, to keep official town minutes. But David, I sent to you, or I'm having sent to you as the meeting's going on, a document that came from the Attorney General's office on the open meeting law. And the reason for the cumbersomeness of what we're doing through now is that under the state's open meeting law, we have to follow certain provisions to make sure that the public is invited in to participate in these meetings. And certainly COVID-19, the situation we're in now, has complicated that concept. It normally is not this difficult as you're seeing. Although I would tell you that this is not anything that we haven't experienced with other boards and commissions when they first started out. under this circumstance, it's a little bit clunky in the beginning, but by the next time we meet, either we can do it in person or we can continue in this platform, but we'll have ironed out the bugs for sure by that time. So anyways, going back to the frequency of meeting, the commission shall keep records of its meetings and actions and shall file an annual report, which shall be printed in the town annual report. So the town generates an annual report. So typically my office contacts the chairman over the winter, sometime maybe in December, to prepare a brief, and you can review one of the town reports, and we just had one for 2019, a brief summary of the commission's activities in the prior year. And under this charge, we're asking that the committee meet at least 4 times per year.
May I add, no, we're meeting the second Friday of every month at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so that's fine. So once I know that, if you can send that along to me by email, we can plug this schedule into our schedule so that we'll make sure the staff is aware of it, and then a liaison is assigned and the Zoom meetings are set up as long as you want to continue to go with the Zoom meeting.
Thank you.
Yep.
What's your email address, Dan?
It's dknapik@yarmouth.ma.us.
Is that all of the letters?
It's, yeah, all lowercase is fine.
At Yarmouth?
.ma.us.
Thank you.
Yep. So, if you go back, Kyle, to the first page of the charge. So what's the general purpose? So it's right here in the charge. The Commission on Disabilities are established pursuant to the Mass General Law to promote inclusion and integration of persons with disabilities in the activity, services, and employment opportunities in the community. Additionally, the COD will coordinate and carry out as necessary programs in coordination with the Mass Office on Disability. This commission has been designed for the purpose of coordinating and carrying out these programs designed to meet the problems of the handicapped in coordination with programs of the Office of Handicapped Affairs, to review and submit recommendations on disabled accessibility for the town and its citizens and visitors. It also works with monitoring programs on disabled parking violations. So interestingly, we don't write a lot of parking tickets in Yarmouth. However, in the state law, we can, I'm not sure if the town has adopted it, I'd have to look into it. But in many other communities, when there is a handicap parking violation ticket written by a police officer, and I believe the fine is $300 at the state level.
It's more. I'll read the back of my card for you.
You can have a, if you adopt the
It
provision.
says
Yep.
$500 fine for the first time.
Even better, 500. So,
Yeah.
so what we can do is look into that, because if we do write a ticket and we adopt the Mass General Law that allows for this, that a portion, if not all of the money, can go into an account to further the cause of the commission. So in the past community that I was in, we wrote a lot of these tickets, particularly during the holiday season when people would be violating these parking requirements all over the place. And so we were able to provide grants and other opportunities for organizations to address some of the concerns in the community as it relates to accessibility. So what we could do is to provide at a further future meeting kind of some of those ideas that other communities have used in the past. Okay. And then it goes on to say the specific charge at the town level per the state statute, the COD shall research local problems of people with disabilities, advise and assist municipal officials and employees in ensuring compliance, coordinate or carry out programs designed to meet the problems of people with disabilities in coordination with the programs of the MOD, and review and make recommendations about policies, procedures, services, activities, and facilities of departments, boards, and agencies, etc. Provide information, referrals, and guidance and technical assistance to agencies and businesses, and coordinate activities of other local groups. So Drew, I see Drew's on the call. So Drew's up for consideration for membership, right?
Right.
So Drew, you also serve on the Age Friendly group, and that's actually a natural group to make a connection with this group.
Right. Yeah, that's what I figured, yes.
Yes, and the other person up for consideration is Jeff Colby, the Department of Public Works Director.
Right.
Yeah.
Under Jeff Colby's office is the Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds. So for all of the work that we do related to renovating town buildings and whatnot, it comes under his authority. So, you know, many instances, there may be issues with accessibility to buildings and locations that are owned by the town, and it would be up to Jeff's department to address those when brought to our attention. So, you know, because this committee has been dormant for so long, it's very well likely that there are many issues within the community that the public has confronted, but they found no avenue to bring that to anybody's attention because there was no advocacy group for that.
I know, interruption, Evelyn Beal. I've already talked to Jeff about that and asked him if he was willing to join our committee. And he said he had already made a contact with either you or the selectman, but has not heard back on status. And neither had Drew, who was already put in an application, heard back.
Right. I do apologize for that. Going back with COVID-19, with all the activity that's taken place since March when this hit us, a lot of our attention has been occupied associated with moving the entire town workforce into a remote
Right.
work location. So we're back on track now and trying to reopen to the public. So we'll get that ironed out and get the right people to participate. And the key is that once we knew what your regular monthly meeting cycle is going to be, we can participate and provide.
No, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
So that's kind of my overview on it. In the meantime, I sent David a copy of the town's recently approved board and committee handbook that we'll distribute out to everybody. That's very helpful to kind of give you the big picture, how board and commission members interact with the town and what certain obligations the town has and that the individual members have. So there's also an open meeting guide that is being sent out too, so everybody understands that.
The Americans with Disabilities ADA Guide for Small Towns, is that what you're talking about?
No, these are different. I can certainly track that down if you give me the information. These are two specific documents related to the state of Massachusetts and the town of York.
May I ask a question? Are you our liaison with the ADA?
Well, so the appointment officially is Sarah as our disabilities officer in town, but it can come through my office because Sarah works in my department.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because I've sent a lot of emails out and I guess they haven't. I think I sent disability to all our members.
Yeah, I have not. I don't recall seeing one, but certainly now that everybody's introduced each other, we all know who we are now. So we can address that going forward.
Can I ask you a couple of quick questions here?
Yes, sir.
I thought I read somewhere, this could be wrong, that is there supposed to be a moderator for these meetings?
No, on a Zoom call, because we have to archive these for the public record, the moderator in this respect is the Zoom operator. So in this case today, Kyle is serving as our Zoom moderator. We have designated certain staff members to be assigned with a Zoom access license to set up the meetings and also to host it for the committees, because as you can see, the interaction can be a little complicated. But certainly if there's materials for the public record, Kyle's role, like today, is he's able to put those on the screen for us to see. But also more importantly is there's a recording of this generated, and the recording will get posted to the town website.
Okay.
And so for purposes of keeping meeting minutes, by the way, you can refer back to the recording to take any meeting minutes as well.
That makes it easier. Good. The second question, and again, this is just practice or protocol. I read, Dan, in that document you sent me on the handbook, that the appointees to these commissions had to be sworn in by the town clerk's office. I personally don't remember that I was ever sworn in anywhere.
Right.
how do I go about?
So Sue Reagan is the acting town clerk, and what we can do is, once town hall opens up again, which should be shortly, I'm anticipating that within a few weeks, we can have people come down to town hall and be sworn in by Sue.
What was that name again, please?
Sue Reagan, Regan.
Oh, thank you. And she's what? Town clerk?
The acting town clerk.
Acting town clerk. Thank you.
Dan, until that happens, does that change the status? And I don't know if I'm the only one that's affected by that or if everyone else is as well. Does that change our status in any way or
No,
how?
I think, at this point, due to the fact that the town hall has been closed for such a long period of time, it's been difficult to facilitate that situation, but we can address that soon as possible.
Okay.
But I'm comfortable with what we've done so far.
All right, thank you.
When we looked at this commission before, we had a question about, is there really an office on disability called Massachusetts Office on Disability, or is it something different?
In Massachusetts?
Massachusetts Office on Disability, that's
Yes,
what it's,
that's what it's called. There's a website that they have. I was on it yesterday, as a matter of fact.
oh, okay, thank you.
It's a very informative website. There's a lot of information on what the role of these local committees are. And I'm certainly think that if you spend some time up there, it'll be beneficial to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
What,
Dan, I'm sorry. Dan, this is Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
When you're referring back to the recording, how do you access the recording?
So the Zoom meeting will play again. We'll post it. Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it'll end up being on the YouTube page, the town's YouTube page.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So we'll give you an access link to the town's YouTube page, and you'll be able to find it there.
So if you could just email us, that would be
Yes.
great. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
and we need to do the format of the members at this point or not?
Well, if there's anybody that just joined that wasn't there on the roll call, we would just want to note for the minutes, the time period and who it was that joined us.
Well, I'm on the committee as a liaison from Age Friendly.
Yeah,
It looks like Drew wants to become both.
that's
Drew
fine.
and I
I mean,
are both on Age Friendly team.
there's no
But it looks like-
limitation on if Drew wanted to just come on anyways as a member, but it's
Yeah.
up, in that case, it'd be up to Age Friendly to decide if it's for both of you. Sometimes that's helpful if somebody can't make a meeting periodically.
Well, that was our thought.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Do we have to do today about the terms and the roles and all that or not?
Well,
Is that-
Kyle, if you could
must be-
bring up the agenda for today, because we posted an agenda of official business, you have to stick to what's on the agenda. So I think after, so the introduction and all this other stuff wasn't on there, but we can move to item number 2 now, the approval of the minutes from March 13th.
Would you like the minutes read?
Well, you don't have to read them, but if you have a copy available, if all the members have read them, normally what we would do, now that we have made this connection going forward, we would get those in advance and they would get published as part of a public notification.
I sent the meeting of every meeting to Mark Forrest.
To who? Mark Forrest?
Mark Forrest.
Yeah, so it would have to come to my office because I didn't get them from Mark.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
But it's okay, as long as your members have agree with the minutes, you can take a vote for that, ask for a roll call though.
Okay, I'll ask for a roll call for the minutes of March 13th meeting.
Before we do that, I have one comment, Evelyn, on the
Right.
minutes. And that is, at least the copy I'm looking at references towards the end, there's an educational grant that can be applied for of $650
Right,
in January 2001.
right.
Was that meant to be 2021?
Oh, well, now that would be thought of correct, wouldn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I see.
I
That
would
was-
just,
Okay, correction on the minutes.
Yeah, so now in this case, because there's a correction, just you'd have to indicate a motion to approve the amended minutes as read.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes corrected as read?
I make that motion.
I
Second,
approve. I second it.
all in favor?
I,
Aye.
So moved.
Aye. Did
Very
that,
done, very well. You can move right to item number 3 if you'd like.
All right, that was for, I think Drew and Gail were there for that meeting and would like to say something at this time. Gail?
okay, let's see now. We had some information from Dennis. And it was very helpful. And they gave us paperwork on living with differences, brochures, advisory committee on disabilities. And they explained to us how they serve their community. And we're going to be looking into that. Drew also has other things probably that he can input if he wants to.
Okay, Drew, thank you.
Tell you the truth, yes, I was there and I took a lot of literature and they explained a lot and I turned it over to Evelyn. And I'm not remembering too well all the details. Maybe you know better than I, Evelyn.
All right, they're in that March 13th meeting where they were talking about the program that they put on for the town, the grant that they received, the booklet that they put out about living with differences and Rescue and Jessica. So they do a lot of, because they must be more established than we are, they had a chance to do these different things and they cooperate with other town committees in doing projects and programs.
so I take it this could be a potential resource as we move forward on whether it's recommendations or suggestions on things we can do,
Yes.
opportunities to collaborate with them on projects and initiatives.
That's right.
Guidance and the like. Is that kind of fair to say, Drew?
That is correct. The woman, her name escapes me exactly how to pronounce
Graf Haslow.
but she was very, very experienced, had been on this committee for many years, and described in detail some of the projects that they did in schools, especially, that were very successful and very long-standing. And she would be very happy to go back and share information with us more. Absolutely, yeah.
And Dan, is it safe to say that there's nothing that precludes us as a commission to reach out to other towns or other groups or organizations for guidance, support, help, whatever?
Well, that's actually the best recommendation I would have, and is to make those contacts within that space and reach out to them for things that they're doing. The best things that we typically do are have already been done in other communities. Makes life a lot easier.
Yeah. She is a great resource for that. She's been around 15 or 20 years, I think, at least, as I recall, doing stuff in Dennis.
I'm also on a listserv for other municipalities, so if it would be helpful if we have a particular topic that we're interested in pursuing, I'm happy to put something out on that listserv and get responses from that as well.
Thank you. That'd be very helpful. All right, I move on to question number 4, item number 4. On that, we discussed a little bit that Drew has an application in and Dan's going to follow up on it, and the same with Jeff Colby. Is that right, Dan?
Yes, I will follow up. Drew, your application, your talent bank form is in with the select board?
Yeah,
Okay.
I sent it in and I got a response from Pam Barnes saying, thank you, we'll be in touch.
Okay, I'll check on that, and in the meantime, I'll also check with Jeff. In Jeff's case, because he's a staff or employee, I can just appoint him to serve on the committee, so that's all set.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Dan, Sorry, Evelyn. Dan, question for you. On the charge that you were referring to earlier, it talks about some requirements for this commission. One of them being the majority of our commission members shall consist of people with disabilities. Whose responsibility is it to monitor that as we add and people step away from the commission, that we are in compliance with that requirement, along with having one member being a member of an immediate family, and one member of the commission shall be either an elected or appointed official? Who's responsible for monitoring that and making sure we're in compliance?
That's normally going to be done by town administration. So let me delve into that a little bit further as it relates. I'm going to actually probably go back all the way in time as to when this charge was worked on by staff a few years ago, and then try to get back to you with some additional information on that.
Okay.
But obviously these deal with sensitive personal issues. So in that particular case, when somebody represents themselves as being eligible based on that criteria, we wouldn't ask for any demonstrated proof of that. We would accept
Right. Right. I just want to make sure that we stay in compliance as a group, as a commission.
Yeah,
I didn't
staff
know if that was
members,
on us or on someone else.
yeah, no, staff members are not part of the commission. They just serve as helpful support roles for the commission.
Okay.
Question on your being the ADA member. Are you the person that would alert the ADA that you now have an active disability commission?
Yes, that would come out of my office.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, same on 5 review commission membership. Who roles and terms? Are we going to wait on that?
Well, I think, refresh my memory, Evelyn. I mean, when we first met, gosh, I forget when it was, didn't we establish we identified people who were going to fill different roles, but I want to say it was temporary. And then,
Right.
Then my question is, now that we're in a new fiscal year, do we need to revote, if you will? Who's going
Yes.
to be the chair? Who's going to be the vice chair?
Yes.
Who's going to be?
We do, because that was just temporary to help us get going.
Okay. And so with the start of the new fiscal year, that's something, yeah, I guess I don't know if that's something we do now. We do it next meeting, but I think we need to identify the chair, vice chair, and the clerk for the new fiscal year, right?
Right.
So that's why I put that on the agenda at that point was.
So what was Dan's thinking on that?
You're muted, Dan.
On the agenda for the next meeting, we would just want to put enough information on it to let people know that we were going to make those membership appointments, if you will.
Do we have to identify candidates at this
If you
meeting?
know who they are, potentially, that's fine to do that. Sometimes in boards, they don't necessarily know until they take a vote that night.
Okay.
I think that's probably where we are. Or am I wrong? Should we postpone it till next meeting? Or do we need to do it today?
Well, I don't know if we need to do it today, but I want to make sure that we've identified people ready to step into those roles. So let's
All right.
start with the chairman. Do we have a chairman?
Don't all the quietness count? I would say we don't.
Do we have a vice chair?
I would
Anybody
step in as vice chair, but I would have to be groomed.
Who was that? Gail?
That's Gail. It's me, Gail.
Okay. So we've got someone for the vice chair role, Gail. Clerk, do we have a clerk or a secretary?
I like doing it. That somebody else would like it, that's fine.
Evelyn, all right. And then back to the chair, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Ally took the temporary role, correct?
I thought she just said when we started it that she's not able to do it.
Right. Well, I want to make sure she's given that first opportunity since she was a temporary, but as you said, Evelyn, she spoke up and said she's not capable of moving forward.
I can't, I just don't have the time.
That's fine. That's fine. I wanted to make that, formalize that, make sure that's noted. So we do have an open position as chair. Do we have a nomination from the group? Someone want to nominate somebody?
I would love to nominate you or Drew, but neither one of you want it, so. Jody was not interested either, so,
No, not at this time. I can't do it.
right.
Drew, are you on the phone still?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Or Tina, Jess's mom.
Well, I'm not a member of the committee at the moment, right? Or the commission,
No, you're not.
but I feel like I'm getting drafted a little bit because we're all
But that's-
standing in a line and everybody took a couple of steps back. So,
You must be military. You must be ex-military, right?
yeah. So we'll see.
Drew, I'll work with you and I just need to know what the role is. I mean, I've never done this before, so it
Right.
would be awesome if I could be under somebody and we can work together and, we can make it
Okay.
happen.
All right.
I
And I'll
appreciate it.
back you both
Maybe
up.
I could convince you to be the chairperson and I'll
Not
be the
yet.
vice chairperson.
But we can work together.
Okay.
How's it sound? We'll do
All
it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so Andrew, are you going to take chair then? And Gail will be vice chair?
Yes.
Assuming that I get on the committee,
Oh,
that could happen, yeah.
Right. We're
I like
willing
how
to
that
wait.
played out. That worked very well because I thought by the end of this meeting I would be drafted, but I like Drew stepping in. I appreciate that, Drew. Thank you very much.
I felt like I was drafted, but we'll say that I stepped in, okay.
Very good.
All right, the next item was the established procedure for submitting, reviewing, and making determinations.
So I put that on there because I think, Evelyn, early on, you had put on the agenda, said one thing to talk about was the sidewalk condition between Seafood Sam and
That's
Toby's.
down, that's six. I'm talking on 6. It said submit, review, and make determinations for the roles of the members, I thought.
Right, but my point is, when I saw that on your agenda, it made me question, well, what is the procedure for doing this? Is that established anywhere? Is there something that specifies here is the process for how you do that? That was my question. That's why I put it on the agenda right here. What is the protocol for vetting recommendations and pushing them through and deciding how we go forward? So that number 6 is about that. It's just, what do we have a process? And if not, how do we go about creating a process?
Does the bylaws or charge of any of those instruct us as to what method we use? Or is it something we have to come up with ourselves? Or does the town tell us? Dan?
I can jump in here unless Dan has
Oh,
something.
good. I'm
else
sorry,
to say.
Sharon.
No, that's okay. I'm happy to reach out. This might be an opportunity to reach out to other communities and see what their procedures are, so we're not reinventing the wheel. If you agree to that, I'd be happy to do that.
That sounds
Okay.
good.
Why don't we have you do that then for the
Okay.
next, and then we can discuss how to handle it after that.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Drew, it looked like you may have been saying something, but you were muted. Were you?
Yeah, no, I was just going along with the general sentiment that was a good idea.
Okay,
Then I saw I was muted.
okay. All right. Yeah, that to me would be helpful. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, and
Right.
if there's something established, I don't mind stealing and borrowing from others.
Could I interject just a request, just because I don't want to forget before the meeting is adjourned? May I ask that someone send me an email with everybody's contact information?
I'll do that.
Would that be, okay. And I
Yep.
am at, it's S. O'Reilly,
S,
SOREILLY
yeah,
at yarmouth.ma.us.
okay,
That would be excellent. Thank you.
okay. I've been trying to keep everybody apprised of everything that's going on, so, but I didn't have your name.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Do we go on to new business now? On 7. This was my concern, and I wondered if it's something we take to the Board of Selectmen, or Jeff, if Jeff was on our committee, then he probably would be able to answer. But I have a handicap scooter, and I live here in Bass River off of River Street, and I was going to Seafood Sam's to get my lunch, and I made the mistake of going across from Walgreens to the sidewalk by Toby's Pizza and going to Seafood Sam's that way. And I had the panic ride of my life because the sidewalk is so steep and so uneven that I thought my scooter was going to tip over.
Ooh.
So I was wondering about having the town or whoever evaluate that section of landscaping and to see if there's something that could be done.
Hey, I get sorry to jump in here. I need to jump off this call. I've got another conference call I need to jump on. I apologize for that. I didn't know we were going to run a little bit. I know it says 3:30 on the agenda, but I have planned only an hour for this. So I got to jump off. I appreciate
thank you,
everyone's
Dave.
help. Thanks, Dan, especially for some guidance that we got here today. And I feel we're much better positioned going forward as a commission to really begin to make an impact and get some things done.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Dave.
Evelyn, I'll take a look at that road crossing there that you were mentioning. I'll have Jeff. That's why we have Jeff on board. He can W related.
Right. Well, usually if I go down Old Main Street and I go across where the store is, that convenience store, over into the Seafood Sam's lot, because it's not a passing plate, so there isn't any parking plate to go across there, but I do. But this time I took the sidewalk and it's very steep and very dangerous. If you're walking, you wouldn't notice it.
No, that's why we have the commission.
Is there any other business that needs to be brought up? Any other concerns? Anybody?
I had something in regards to, the brochures that Dennis had given us. I was wondering if we could possibly make something like that as well. And what is the procedure? Do you have to run it by the town to make sure that it's approved?
Sharon?
What, me?
No, what isn't that other girl's name?
No,
Oh,
it's
Sarah. You're
Sarah.
asking-
It's what?
it's
Sarah
Sarah.
O'Reilly. I
Oh,
think.
Sharon?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah, S-A-R-A?
Yep.
SARAH.
H.
Okay.
Yes. I would ask that, yes, we should be able to view the brochure prior to printing it.
Okay.
And we can, I mean, I haven't seen it myself, but we certainly can. I'm not sure if it's something you're thinking copies would be made here, or it's through a printer or what have you, but we can
Well, we
certainly
have
work-
no funds right now.
Yeah, so probably it would be photocopies here, but we do have a color copier that we could utilize for that. We would just want to make sure that it meets all the standards that it needs to meet in terms of having the town logo and different things like that on it. So
Okay.
I
I'm
think you
happy-
also, oh, as a courtesy to Dennis, I think you should tell them what we would like to do or use theirs as a model, something so that they don't come across it and get upset.
Right.
Oh, no, we would do that, absolutely.
That's
yeah.
very true.
No, we would do that. Also, Sarah,
I'm sorry, I have a doctor's appointment in 10 minutes, so I need to go. I'm very sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
Till next time.
thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out.
Bye, Ally.
Bye.
hi, Ally.
Bye.
Sarah,
Yes,
does,
ma'am.
does the town have history, like notes and things of that nature of what past commissions have done?
I will look into that. I believe that we do, yes.
Because that would be kind of interesting to see what they did too, and there could be some ideas that we could take from that.
Right. The other
I mean,
thing.
they already have a brochure. We don't even know it.
Right, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's another thing that, I might suggest that we also, I'm finding that municipalities are very willing to share information, and a lot of times they'll email these things to us. So it might be wise to get some examples from other communities in addition to Dennis, and we can sort of incorporate the best of them into our own. So I'd like to request that I also reach out to other municipalities for that information as well, because there may be some things we want to incorporate in addition to what you're seeing from Dennis.
Oh, that would be good. And there's another thing too that I was talking to Evelyn about, and that is the senior center, I think, has a list of names of people with disabilities and their phone number, probably their addresses. And as a commission, we should probably maybe reach out to them, letting them know that we're available. And if they have any concerns, like what Evelyn had experienced, when she was trying to get to Seafood Sam's, that they have a place where they can now, air their concerns, and we could probably help them. Does that make sense?
Yes, let me look into that further as well. I don't believe we would be able to share that information necessarily, but there may be a way that we can, assist with getting the information out to those people.
Okay,
Right.
So,
that
yeah,
would be fun. That
Like,
would be
let
try-
them know what might be available to them.
right.
Yeah,
right.
that'd be perfect. Yeah.
And if you can't get the information, we could put a blurb in the milestones,
Yeah.
which is the newsletter the senior center puts out bi-monthly. And it's well read, and it's just solicit input.
Yeah.
Have you had an experience? Have you had a challenge? Is there something you would like the town to look at?
Well, we could actually do that too, as well, because there could be new people that we don't even know that are on the list.
Right.
And
Or
there's
reach out.
Or
other,
may not want to be on a list.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
we have to watch out for HEPA.
Also, the town has social media pages that might be another avenue to reach out to people as well. So that's another suggestion would be to put something out there. One of the things that I want to
Goes up.
look into on our end is where would they go if they did have a concern. So maybe there's something we need to work on as it relates to an email address that they could email specifically for these concerns.
That's true. You need
So
a phone number and an email address. that
That's
they
a good idea. Also on not just social media, but on the town website.
mhm.
Where do I go for, there must be some section, Q&A about the town government.
So who would be like receiving the phone calls or the
What?
emails?
Why don't
It
we,
would- I
Evelyn,
would-
why don't we postpone this to the next meeting, because this is going to be a
Okay,
in-depth study. I think it would take more time than we have right now, because I think we're probably out of Zoom time.
all right.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
The name was
George
voice?
Warner.
George, thank you. Jody, okay. Is there a
Right,
second?
Jody.
I second it.
And that was Gail?
Gail, yep.
Okay. All right, the meeting has called. It has been as much as we've been able to do on it. Thank you all for your participation, and we have voted for a join, and thank you all for your help. And
Thank you.
and welcome, Sarah. I'm sure that
Thank you.
we'll be leaning on you
That's
heavily.
great. I look
Nice
forward
meeting you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
to
Sharon, thank you for coming.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.